Welcome everybody to our combination November, December board meeting. Call a meeting to order. And would I identify himself for the record?
Myself, the coach, executive director.
Ken Stevens, member.
Jerry Brown, member.
John Karras-Smith, member.
Tom Gillen.
Mike Shanley, attorney.
Terry Hamel. We have one person that is not able to be here tonight, Kurt Coates. Mike Carroll said he would be a little bit late, and we're expecting him to be here. At any rate, you work out the agenda, and you'll find there's something somewhat different, slightly different from the past. The bottom, and we will try to continue this policy, this practice. On the bottom, there's a statement of our mission statement. This was promulgated by our recent meeting with the ABO trainer. We were talking about mission statements, and he said that it would be a nice idea if the board members saw the mission statement. He has people who have it on, he knows the boards that have it on their agenda, and he has the board, he knows that the board chairman reads the mission statement at the beginning of each meeting. I suggested at the present that the lesser of those two would be appropriate and probably more acceptable. Henceforth, we will have this mission statement. It is worth looking at, and when we have discussions about what we should be doing with X, Y, or Z, we may find some ability to come to the conclusion by reading our mission statement. So, motion is in order to approve the consent agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Stevens, Mr. Smith. Are there any aspects of the components of the consent agenda that need to be asked about before the consent agenda is voted? Any questions about any matter of the consent agenda?
I have one on the accounts receivable for Trophy Bureau. We're drifting a little bit behind in our collections.
A lot of those were received and they were not reflected. The Albert Court hasn't been received. We just received a large traffic bureau bill. The traffic bureau bill that you're referring to only past 30. And I believe that we received those numbers to Patty this week.
The traffic order ones, the one under the current and the 1 to 30 were recent. We billed out. Those are November and some recent barges. The 61 to 90 and the 4281 is one that we are working with them on as far as a skid steer from last year that we had issues with. The 9,000 from day 61 to 90 has been paid
Okay.
since this.
And can you look into November?
I'm looking at both in November and the
October.
Yeah, they're still in there.
Also, there's, looks like 3 individuals up toward the top on the accounts receivable.
Booth Hill,
Axtell,
He's
Bitco,
paid.
and Booth.
Axtell has paid, and we recently, or actually Mike recently sent out notices to these individuals that are in the over 120 column.
Okay.
we have that there. We have the Oswego Tourism and Harbor Master Board, which I'm going to have to write off. Those are the boat owners that we talked about. Those are the boat owners that haven't paid, and that's something that I have to change the policy. In the past, we've been billing them, and we've been chasing them. And in the future, we got to reverse that. I mean, we spend an awful lot of time chasing their money, and it's just, we're going to be reverse. You get money up front, and you get space.
Okay.
And we spent 9 months chasing these people down.
For that amount, it's not worth it. Then I've got one on accounts payable. I see that we are catching up with our back there on the law office.
Yeah, I wasn't going to pay them at all.
Dave,
Hi, Dave.
we're gonna pay him at all?
He's catching up.
Okay,
For the record-
that's all I have.
For the record, Dave
Thank you.
Sternheim arrived.
Traffic.
Any other questions before we call vote? All in favor of approving the consent agenda?
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous, this consent agenda is approved as it was presented. We have on our agenda a presentation. You will see on the agenda Henry Spain. Henry is here. He represents the Sweden Maritime Foundation. Dr. Spain is a longtime associate with the Maritime Foundation and is its leader for many years. Is the person who probably primarily responsible for keeping the issue alive and underway with the construction, the volunteer construction of this beautiful schooner that exists in the Swift Harbor. And been in Henry's Bank for a long, long time, and I'm sure that whatever he has to say is what you Hank?
Thanks, Gary. I'll be brief. You have a copy of my remarks tonight, and I'll be happy to stay as long as you like this evening for any questions. The Education Through Involvement Program was developed for the Oswego Maritime Foundation and began construction of an 1850-style schooner in 1988, and to this day holds true to the original mission. To have the schooner serve as a floating classroom for the education about the history, heritage, resources, and ecology of the Great Lakes, to organize groups from schools, community organizations, and the business and professional community. The schooner of Ontario has been built of welded steel to modern standards by an all-volunteer crew from donated materials and services together with grants, private donations, and is entirely debt-free. And its estimated value at the time of completion will be approximately $2 million if you were to have one of these commercially built. Presently, the schooner is nearing completion and for the moment rests on the hard at Winter Harbor Marina near Brewerton on the United River. We go there because they provide a service of haul out and services of painting for us. All a part of the effort that we can do because we have an educational program goal in mind.
Not everybody knows the boulder. I'm not sure everybody knows it on the hard nose.
On the land, out of the water. Sailors talk, I guess. So we take a ride up the canal and enjoy the scenery and get hauled out and stored there for the winter. It's quite a donation. She's entirely debt-free. Presently, the schooner is nearing completion of the requirements for the U.S. Coast Guard certification as an inspected passenger vessel. She's traditional in appearance, in keeping with her mission, but is fully equipped with modern navigation and safety equipment, along with a diesel engine, called an Iron Breeze. Sailors talk. In 2014, the crew completed a handicapped accessible boarding ramp, safety and rescue equipment, internal electrical panels, hatch covers, access ladders, and modified much of the sail handling gear based on sea trials. In the coming year, we will install a fixed fire fighting system, interior lighting, interior woodwork throughout, including bunks, heads, the ship's library, and an ecology laboratory. As always, the schooner will adhere to a budget, maintain accurate records and liability releases, and serve the community as a model of volunteer effort. Now, why I came to you tonight. The maritime organizations in Oswego, there are 3 of them, are joining together to make a single strong organization, and as a result, the Oswego Maritime Foundation will no longer exist. A consolidation committee consisting of representatives from the maritime organizations and the port was chaired by Dave White of New York State Street Branch. The committee recommended the name of the new organization be the H. Lee White Maritime Center at Oswego Harbor with a broad mission statement. The H. Lee White Marine Museum appears now to be the new umbrella organization and has retained the museum portion of the name and the mission as a museum. The museum board has indicated that they do not wish to hold the schooner title, but would like to use use the schooner as a commercial venture. This is not in keeping with the recommendation from the consolidation committee, obviously. The use of the schooner in this manner is not in keeping with the original intent, violates the commitment of the donors, the grants from the state of New York, support from the county of Oswego, and the dedication of the volunteers of this unique project. Believe me, we would not be able to do this if the builders and donors of this project knew it was going to enter the commercial trade and be used as a vessel for hire. As a result, the schooner title will need to be held by an organization willing to carry her forward and preserve her role as the focal point of the Education Through Involvement program. I'm hoping that the Port of Oswego Authority will be the new home for the schooner OMF Ontario. Thank you for your consideration.
I asked him to speak to me, basically. Henry met me twice, once the chairman, and it's a decision I was fully capable of making, but given the charter you all gave me relative to fiscal challenges that we have as far as money is concerned, we are owners of numerous vessels out there. I mean, this would be the dirt. And with this help, I was able to get one off the books, which is a tugboat that's sinking away somewhere in one of the channels. So we own the tugboat, I believe it's number 9, is it? That's out there right now. This would be the second vessel that we would own. By owning it, we have to take on insurance. We don't know, I haven't looked into it, we didn't have the time. Depends on the outcome tonight, right? What we want to do. The insurance is about $1,300, $1,400, $1,500, I'm not sure.
Yes, it's part of a broad policy at the Maritime Foundation that covers all of the vessels, including those involved in the sailing program, the motor support vessels, and all the other vessels there.
It's an annual thing?
It's an annual premium, and then of course, with it also goes the liability. All right. Now, there's a lady named Mercedes out there. I was able to, there's a tugboat named Chancellor that hasn't floated in a while. I was able to get rid of that from her vacancy. It hasn't happened yet. It's on its way. But that's one boat, and you know how I feel about money. That's one boat we spend a lot of money on and it hasn't floated yet. And this one is able to fully be powered and it moves on its own. I have an agreement with Mercedes to get rid of that boat and get rid of the title. Apparently, we never had clear title, although we paid the premiums on it, which I wasn't too excited about.
Why didn't we wipe out that title?
The title was never clear.
No, on this one.
Oh, no, we want title.
Okay, they did.
They want to use it as a commercial.
They want to use it as a commercial vessel. What she wants to do is hire it out, and it's against the whole.
Have the port
Yeah.
hold the title, but they could
They get the
operate it
profits.
at their
I
pleasure.
like that kind of deal. I'll bring you movies like that. But they want to basically, they want us to hold the title, pay the expenses, and they get to keep the profits up.
That's
If
assuming.
if it doesn't go the way, you know, you're actually talking about it going, what's gonna happen to it? If you had your way and the original donors had their way, what would happen with this particular boat?
That's why I'm here tonight.
It,
I would like this to happen.
in other words,
In other words, have us hold the title?
Yes, because in so doing, you can control how it's operated. You would set the criteria under which we would operate the schooner.
Who will
And-
operate?
Pardon?
Who will operate?
All of the volunteers that are part of the group that do that. And we would set that up contractually with the port, as to specifically how that's going. There'll be a administrative group that would be specifically in charge. And we'd set all that up at your pleasure.
Would this be, earlier in your discussion, someplace it says that the three maritime organizations are consolidated into one.
Yes,
The group that would operate this boat would be part of that group or?
no, a part of the Port Authority. You would contractually arrange with our group.
So in other
Well,
words,
I understand that, but how would it be organized?
Henry, you need to explain what's happening. I think we're getting lost in the,
Yes, presently I serve on the Museum Board of Directors. And
the H. Lee White Museum
Yes.
Board,
and that's part of the process of the merger, is to get members from the different organizations to serve together, and that's what's going on now. In that process, one of the things that the museum has done is to search a new charter and develop a name and a new mission. That was presented to the museum board, and that name was not what was recommended by the consolidation committee. It clearly identifies a new organization as a museum, and the four components of the mission statement that were proposed specifically are centered about the functioning of a museum. And the consolidation committee felt this was a restrictive approach. They recommended a broad-based maritime organization that had a mission statement that would cover everything from now and in the future. And I presented to the museum board 20 examples of activities that are maritime related that the organization might want to pursue, and they're not covered by their new mission statement.
Let me make a couple of comments on how about too. I think this vessel was originally developed under the auspices of the Maritime Foundation, and it was built with the understanding that it would have a historical function, an exploratory educational function, and it can't be moved away from the dock unless there's a licensed captain at the helm. There are some serious responsibilities and requirements. But the issue is, the boat was envisioned having function A, and as it would likely be used by some other people, it would be a completely different function B, which has basically no relationship to the function A function. That is, it would take a boat that was designed to be a historical vessel and that mantle and turn it into a trolley boat to go maybe up to the lighthouse.
so Dr. Spang actually stands in a difficult position. You're a member of the board of the H. Lee White Memorial Museum,
Yes.
and also you're a member, I'm assuming, of the committee of the vestiges of the three organizations that is a recommendation committee.
Yes, and
So you've kind of got,
well,
you're sitting
what's coming in the future, I objected to the name and the direction of the museum was chosen. I would not sign the documents for their new charter, and consequently my term with them is going to come to an end sometime early in next year.
so who has the power to allow us to hold the title? The museum
No,
or
the
the
Maritime
recommendation?
Foundation still does while they still exist.
Okay,
They have to dispose of their assets, and they're going to do that as the merger is completed.
So the Maritime Foundation membership has agreed to this merger.
Well, the controlling organization structure, the Board of Trustees of the Maritime Foundation, yes, and they're well aware that the title has to go somewhere.
but their recommendations are not being considered by the H. Lee White Museum, or are, they're not being allowed?
The museum didn't want the title. They wanted someone else to hold the title, and presuming that's support.
What do you think?
I mean, they want all the fun and we get all the
Well,
responsibility.
this issue can't be resolved. This is,
No.
it just can't. You can't avoid something. or can't do it, so they don't understand.
That's right.
And Hank understands, I'm sure. But it's something that we need to consider and work with whoever we need to work with, and Zelko is the person who is the director of this organization. So it has to come to a consolidation of view and before a decision can be made. And it should be done reasonably soon because it takes them, time is something of the essence.
There's ways of doing it, and you can own it, lease it back.
I think you explained something adequately, that's really getting confused. It's your intent, which you told me in the office, right? It's your intent to run it as a volunteer organization. It's your intent, for whatever profits you make, to plow back into it, to keep it alive, right? So you're not profiting from it,
And
That's what the confusion
not,
is.
not asking for any money from the port for it.
other than insurance.
That would be nice if you could do that.
And an organization to be formed of volunteers
Yes,
would contract with the port
yes,
to operate this
that's correct.
boat.
And that would be agreed.
But it's
by-
not an organization as currently exists, it's not one
That's
of those
correct.
three.
That's
I-
correct. We're kind of in limbo
I
right
understand.
now. Yeah.
Okay.
And the thing that I would see down the road would be that the organization would wind up disbanding, and then we'd wind up holding the title to a boat. Then there may become a contentious arrangement if we wanted to get rid of the boat or stop insuring it.
We own it.
Yeah,
You own it.
I understand, but I want you guys to have the benefit of the work that you put into this thing too. I mean, you put
Well-
12 and 14, that's 26 years of work.
The community is gonna reap the benefits from this. And we all knew that when we started building it, to be an educational vessel.
Commissioner, we can give you a tugboat if you like.
No offense.
That was,
Can your water ski behind it?
that was my dream, and that's the dream of everyone that's worked on this. There've been over 600 of them, by the way.
It's, this thing has, it's really happened rather quickly. I mean, to give Henry his due, he did visit us in November, October. He knew what was coming down the pike, but the organization is moving rather quickly.
After some action was taken by them.
Yeah, and they've really moved fast. And so now we have January, I just asked him before, about January where this may occur.
Yes.
And I think we may have some time if the board wishes. I mean, I don't vote, so I just
Well,
suggest.
what we're being asked to do is consider taking over ownership of this.
Right.
Does that run counter to our mission? I don't see it.
I don't see it does either.
Just looking at the mission statement. So I guess it passes our first test that it's not in contradiction to our mission, but I'm hearing that maybe we have some questions.
Sure.
Well, it's not negative, just questions of just information.
No, we need to understand what it is that,
That should be taken down, you know.
Certainly.
And I'll tell you, Henry, from my perspective, I just recommend, right? I don't want to get into liability. I don't want to get into maintenance. I don't want to get into. I have other things
That's
to
right.
maintain.
And
I just need to worry about stuff here.
And you won't have to.
Yeah, but now with everything written out.
Yes.
Everything black and white.
Certainly.
Well, you're looking at title with us in some type of lease agreement with them.
Yes.
And that covers everything that we would be
You
concerned with.
do
Unless they
that,
tell me otherwise. They
you
tell me otherwise.
do that same thing now with the Tug LG5.
Right.
You hold the title to that, and you have an agreement with the museum on how it's to be used and operated.
Right.
And we'd just like to do the same arrangement, but have that operational control not directed to the museum or any of the other maritime organizations.
I'm used to being the bad guy, don't worry. It's always me.
Start into a can of worms.
I'm assuming this group would then form some kind of entity?
Yes.
Are they all in agreement of what you want to do for us to?
Oh, they're well aware that that the title is going to have to go somewhere.
Somewhere.
Yes. And that's, their concern is that it goes somewhere that will ensure that it will be operated as intended as an educational program for the long haul.
Well, what I told Henry, I mean, and again, obviously we have a limited role, we'd be interested, perhaps Nabaus may be interested, perhaps other people. We need somebody with some pockets behind this thing, and not just us. I mean, obviously, depends on what happens tonight, I was gonna talk to some other people, but it depends what the board wishes are. I mean, the only reason I brought it up is limited time window, and I didn't wanna, I felt this was too big of a decision to make by myself, and I didn't wanna,
What are you hoping to leave here tonight with from us?
So,
Just that you'll consider my proposal.
If you in the meantime, get your group together and make up a, I don't know, bylaws as a formal organization,
Certainly.
and, you know, speak in the bylaws to the Port Authority and, you know, limits of what you'll,
Sure.
okay.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
that-
saying?
That would be an arrangement. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm sorry, the bylaws,
Let his particular group,
okay,
that we're gonna enter into an arrangement with, if we vote this in the affirmative,
okay,
come up with bylaws as to how their group will operate,
okay,
what responsibilities they'll have towards us,
okay,
towards the upkeep of the boat,
okay.
all of the things that
Yes.
cover the boat, and our ownership and their use.
May I just add another point here? We could look at taking ownership, taking title, and they would have a little more time to put together an operational procedure, because they're using it for like 5 months. So it doesn't have to be all done at the same time for one board. We can assume kind of, could be revertible if we.
I was gonna say, they don't want, without some understanding that they just lost their boat.
And then.
So in other words, vote pretty much on a pig and a poke as far as our, with the group.
Well, they have to.
No disrespect.
They have to give the title to somebody else.
And if they don't come up with an agreement, then we just have to go.
Yeah.
Do it as.
I don't wanna see anybody get hurt, you know?
Well,
I'm feeling nice tonight.
Well, I think there's an ownership in some kind of lease agreement. I think,
Okay.
and we can cover our butt.
We don't have to have all of it, every.
So you're not-
So
you're not- yeah.
that's what you want to do, work on the ownership and lease agreement, and get your price on the insurance level on that.
Yes.
And then to bring it up to the next board meeting is what, January
27th.
27th? Will that cover you, Henry, or? Sure. Any other suggestions? Because I'm all ears here. I mean, it's a little bit out of my,
I guess Henry wants to know, is there some interest at least so he can go back and tell his people that it's not.
I
Well,
think
I
it's
see
not
an issue on the
sinking
agenda
much.
for,
There's-
Should we take some sort of action to direct Zelco to pursue it?
that was seen as my interest.
Then we could postpone consideration of new business, those,
Insurance,
the first one.
right.
And motion 12, 16, 14, up to, we could just put that.
so actually then, once we buy the insurance, then we would get the title?
Well, I think that's what's gotta be discussed.
We would get the title as soon as the paper's signed.
Right.
Okay.
You,
As long as it's in writing, we
That's
have
why-
a to time with that,
Yeah.
right?
Exactly.
Any idea what the name may be, the new,
Pardon?
any idea what the new name may be?
Same
for
thing.
the group that's gonna be handling?
No.
it?
We'll have to put that into the mix of the agreement.
The scooter's name will not change, is that correct?
Right, that's right. Bad luck to you if you need it.
I know, but the attempt was to keep it here this way.
Oh, yes. Not going back.
I would vote.
Although we will visit other ports
That's
and of course,
understandable.
carry the name of Oswego and its sponsor.
If you put the Port of Oswego logo on it, it would make it look like you're going fast.
Well, we do carry the port flag.
So,
You wouldn't consider naming it Spillin' Wine or anything, no?
No, that name was selected in a competition among
why don't we
all
do
the
this?
schools in Oswego County.
Why don't we do this at the time it comes up on the new business? And have a motion to table the discussion pending consideration of what we're discussing. We can flesh it out a little bit.
Sure.
Which I think shows interest on the board, so you feel comfortable walking.
We'll table this new business item and put another motion that Dave's sort of drafting out right now, which will give Zelfer the direction to pursue this and give you some
Sure.
encouragement to pursue it with him.
Very good.
When was the museum gonna take ownership?
Well, they weren't gonna take over.
They weren't,
They wanted someone else to, but operate it
as a commercial.
as they
And
intended.
make all the money.
They don't want to own it, they want to operate.
Are those leaning towards someone else having ownership?
No,
January 20.
What they said, no one
That's
said.
the last Tuesday in January.
Effort, that's it.
There's been a lot of work in that, going way back then.
Yeah.
All I was, we were told a lot of the boats that circled there where it was started.
That's Z,
That's a brief. So we'll put this resolution up on the new business and table the actual direction.
thank you very much.
Right now it's insured from the winter hope.
Yes, yes, that policy rolls over in the spring.
We can at least give you something to look forward to.
She carries again, it's the same policy that insures the other vessels at the Maritime Foundation.
Oh, we still already have that insurance.
The hull is insured and liability is insured as well.
And if it falls over, you get damaged.
Pardon?
If it falls over off the jack stands and it's going over, the insurance covers the repair.
Sure.
Henry, just stand by and we'll see what happens.
Yes,
All right, thanks.
thank you very much.
Thank you. All right, next item on the agenda is reports. Executive Director Administrative Services Report, that's Exhibit C. Executive Director?
That-
Yeah,
Just,
that described has a report. But I'll give you a quick executive director report. And the chairman's going to expand at some of these things. We traveled a lot this month. We visited a number of customers. We did a number of presentations. And the chairman is going to give you some updates on those. We are in negotiations with our grain tenant. The letter that we drafted through our grain attorney has done his job, and we are in the midst of renegotiating our grain agreement with Purdue. We'll see where it goes. We'll see if we can turn the operation to a profitable one. The other thing I'll tell you is that I've been rather busy, the chairman is also going to be rather busy with the governor, and we actually been approached, and those we'll be talking to him, and we'll see where in terms of our broader mission.
That's your,
That's it.
that's the executive report this evening. The chairman's report will be brief, or maybe not that brief, but brief. We had, everybody on there. be there, but we had a visit from Mr. Scott Fine and they do training sessions, so everybody's trained. David was supposed to have 11:30, and actually for 19th.
I rescheduled.
Rescheduled.
Friday.
So David is going through the ABO training. Webinar series, yes. Anyway, it was, I think the people who were here with Scott Fine were generally pleased with his performance. He did a really nice job. So we are one shy of having the required training sessions for all the board members, and that's a good place to be in. As Alco mentioned, we went to 2 meetings. We went to the Highway H2O meeting. This was the 10th anniversary. I gave everybody a couple of folders that I picked up about that particular meeting. You can see that if you look at the program, you see the program consists of a 2-day program, and it was separated into modules. And the first day, module 1 was the market update, examining cargo trends in the commercial shipping industry. And then there was a keynote speaker who talked about the world of change. And you have, with the handout I gave you, a card. It's a magnetic card to have in your refrigerator at home. Change is welcome. It might have some, it might lead to some interesting discussion at home, but that's a different issue. I wasn't talking about. Then there was module 2, and that was on policies and regulations. And the module 2 continued policy and navigating key influencers, and we talked about how operations can benefit and improve. Module 1, 11 o'clock. The second speaker at 11 o'clock on module 1 on the third day was Chris Smith, plant manager from Novellis. He was given like a 20-minute or more speaker opportunity, and he was not able to be there. And we were kind of disappointed about that, except he sent his whole program of slides and videos to the meeting and called them and was broadcast talking, giving his presentation while all of his visuals were on the wall, and he was throughout the audience would be probably a better sound than standing on stage with a microphone. And his program was the hit of the 2-day session. Spectacular. It was absolutely the hit of the 2-day session. It was about what they've been doing, expanding, how they have been interacting with the Portland Sewer Authority, how the interaction has been very, very positive for both entities. And they ended with a video. Part of it was photographed here during Harbor Fest fireworks. Those of you at the fireworks remember over and over the guy was filming the truck coming through, everybody was using the flashing light. They ended the video with about a 2 or 3 minute segment of that, maybe more, with fireworks. And I guarantee you, there were people in the room crying. It was so emotional to see Ford F-150 put in this glorious background, and then having the fireworks, the night fireworks, lighting the truck as a fire. It was very, very effective, very, very emotional. We heard people all around, wiping and sobbing, wiping their faces, and that crying.
It's the same way the video being filmed. They will show the whole presentation here. They're very protective of it. I mean,
You guys will all see it.
yeah, you will see it. They're very
So
protective.
Is that what we're releasing in January?
Yeah, but no, the car's already out now. The vehicle is out, but they're very protective of it. I mean, they made us get rid of all the presentations. I'm not sure what state secret there is, but they're very protective of it.
Another meeting, next meeting, there are a couple.
I mean, the vibes got the majority of the video. All the vibes got into it. Some of the folks that were there, they were more photogenic than others.
He begged me not to tell you that the tea and tears was nice too.
Yeah, it was nice. It was very nice. It was very nice. It was really nicely done.
So anyway, you can see the rest of the modules on the evolving needs, growth and change and cargo diversification. It was a wide range of things that everybody enjoyed learning from. Really marvelous opportunity to go and hear this kind of interaction. International. The last major speech was about the Suez Canal, and larger the Suez Canal. We've been hearing for a couple of years, and it's been pretty common knowledge that there's an enlargement of the canal system in the Suez Canal. Something similar is happening in the Suez Canal. And to the extent that they're successful, and there's more problems there maybe than in Panama, but to the extent that they're successful, they will be the two most important canals in the world, Panama and Suez. I'm anxious to see how this thing goes out. The world commerce is going to go through, intercontinental commerce, commerce will go through those two canals in a much larger matter than number than trade. So that's about all I had to say. I did give you this. This was something I just printed off. This was the back in front of one of the slides of a handout card. And I could grab enough of these folders to give you an idea what Highway H2O is and what the St. Louis Seaway system is. But I couldn't grab enough of these because they're all gone. I got these at the Montreal meeting and they were pretty no. Well, that was probably what Chris was talking about. Yeah, well, Chris Smith was talking about the partnership between the port and how both entities are doing better than either one would do individually because of this partnership. It's been very, very progressive and very productive for us. And the two executive directors, Smith and Zelko, are brothers in terms of their immediacy, understanding what the other needs are, and cooperating how to solve them. So it's very, very positive. Opportunity to see that happen. So the meeting in Montreal was a joint meeting between two sides of the Seaway operation. The Canadian side and the U.S. side. The Canadian side has a director who works out of Kingston, but he represents all of Canada relating to the Seaway system. And our representative is from Washington, Betty Sutton, and she was there. And those two people, there was a reception in Montreal between the two organizations, the Canadian side and the U.S. side, with some speeches by both leaders of the side. And it was interactional and more productive in the sense of interpersonal relationships. There wasn't any particular news or no speeches or information. There was no information about how to operate that sort of thing to get it throughout. But it was every bit as effective and important to keep the two sides working very comfortably together. The Seaway system can't work well unless both countries are agreement and are operating cooperatively. So, port directors, port engineers, various shipping companies, and others. There were probably a couple hundred people at the reception, just glad handing and talking about the season that we've just had and what they're looking forward to in the future. It was very productive, and at that organization, at that event, we need to be represented most important meetings that affect us in our immediate geography, in our immediate interaction with all the components of this area. So, I just want to tell you, it was worth it, and it was very useful.
Question? Where do we stand with Schumer's request for the agribusiness and exporting from the Oswego?
We can elaborate on it. The college is in the process of applying for grants, and in the process of negotiating with the USDA, Schumer is actively involved, and so is Purdue.
Is he giving us an idea that it's forthcoming?
Positive.
Yeah, okay. Thank you.
Now, you saw, and if you look at, in number C, packet C, there are a couple of articles in there about that.
I've been reading it.
And it's a hot issue.
That's good.
Hot issue.
Take some of the weight off the Virginia board.
So that's basically all I have to say. We're looking pretty good in organizing a lot of those bases. Supporting them. There was no doubt after Chris Smith's presentation, the only thing anybody talked about for next year. Everybody could hear them. Did you see that story about Dallas Florida City? Zelko, he got referred to a couple of times
Under the table.
on the stage. What'd you win? You won something?
Yeah. Gloves and a
That was, that had the right name on it.
That's nothing.
That's a So, Journey.
Nothing in the open session or executive session.
All right, we have one item of old business that wasn't on the original agenda, and I had Patty correct it, and that was, I think I gave, did I give you? Oh, here we have it. This is, this was the document that was modified slightly based on last meeting's, last month's meeting. This is the employment agreement, terms and conditions of employment agreement is not. And we made the appropriate changes based upon your direction, as reflected in the minutes of the last meeting. And on page 2, you will see in red the changes that were made to meet the needs as directed in the last meeting. And otherwise, there were no other changes. And Mike's secretary left it in red, so you can refer directly to it. After the meeting, we'll just change the color to black. I had not been signed yet until we all had checked it. I emailed it, I emailed it to you, I had that Patty print out copies. So, okay? Okay. Next item new business.
All right.
We should we,
There's two though, we got a table.
we should table this.
1402.
Motion's in order.
1404.
Let me say, motion's in order. Let me tell you how this should be done. I call a motion to sponsor the motion, second the motion, and then somebody will move to the table. Sponsor the motion, put it on the table for discussion. Sponsor second, move to the table, we table that motion, and then we'll introduce it. All right?
So the motion to authorize executive director to purchase insurance for the elementary school.
Yes. Motion 12, 16, 1402 is in order for consideration.
Second.
All right? Mr. Brown, Mr. Smith. Does Mr.
Move the table.
Second.
Mr. Sherman, Mr. Gillen moved it until our next meeting?
Yes.
That's a definite tabling until our next meeting. There's no discussion on the tabling motion. All in favor of tabling this motion?
Aye.
Opposed? It is unanimous. Does everybody understand what just happened? All right, next time you do, come back, we move the motion back on the table, off the table onto our meeting, and then we'll discuss it next. No, there's another motion that's been substituted.
12/16/1404, motion to authorize executive director.
1404.
Next, added.
Authorize executive director to investigate the transfer of title of the Owen F. Ontario schooner from the Oswego Maritime Foundation to the Port Authority. Report of being forwarded agreement at the next regular board of directors meeting on January 27, 2015.
I'll make that motion.
Mr. Schumer or Mr. Brown? All in favor of that motion? Is there any discussion of that motion? It's just telling us that our next meeting, we're going to consider it.
Just that we would like to learn more about what we're potentially undertaking, or considering undertaking.
And what strategy I pay particular attention to?
Well, I have a concern as to what it will cost us, or what our potential liabilities are, and alternatively, to what use we would put such a vessel. What organization might we pursue a lease or operating agreement with? under
Pros
that
and cons.
circumstance?
Pros
Yes.
and cons.
Up to the all developed before anyone. That's the mission we have now. That's the mission Hank.
Thanks.
All the authority you're getting.
That's clear.
All those answers you would be expected to provide.
Yeah, okay.
So everybody understands that we're going to deal with this at the next meeting, assuming that we get the information we need. Any further questions?
Or a draft agreement if it progresses to that point.
I think we can get there. I understand what he wants to do. I'm not sure that probably I'll say I did a good job relinquishing what he wants to do with it. And I'll work towards that. I have a clear understanding what he wants to do with it. We just got to put that into words. And we put limits in it, and we put stipulations, and have something.
Well, then we have the answers, and the other half, I'm sure you can investigate with the insurance company and such.
That's the one I'm working on. How much does this cost?
Okay. We vote. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? That's also unanimous. The next item is on the business is the consideration of approval of the executive director to negotiate a lease offer with G&S Broadwood Inc.
I can elaborate a little bit on it. We're in negotiations with the parking lot. I have a positive. It's really both of us, juniors and seniors, and I'm going to entertain two alternatives: one straight out purchase and one lease. And I like the authority to negotiate a lease. I spend a month on getting appraisals. I have an idea what that property is worth, and I like to have both options for them and see which is more favorable.
So we're looking at authorizing you to negotiate
At least.
for how long, what term?
Well, I think if he comes back at the next meeting.
Yeah, I mean, he would want a long term, obviously. Yeah, he's looking for a long term parameter. He's looking somewhere in the neighborhood of 20 years.
So, again, this motion is just to investigate.
I mean, we talked about, all our discussions were about sale. I'm choosing the notion of lease. And being that we are where we are, I'm not going to say anything more.
Kind of like hanging on to it because of the marina position.
That's why I'm interested in the notion of lease.
The lease.
So you're giving, the motion just gives Elko authority to bring us back the information.
So I'm thinking both proposals back from
And-
January.
So do we need someone to sponsor that motion? I'll sponsor that. That's
Sure.
what my thoughts are. Finding out.
Mr. Brown. Any discussion? Zelco has, probably, just as a point of information, probably already has the authority to negotiate leases. They don't mean anything until they're approved by the board. So, but he may have more, he may have the face of more authority since he's being authorized to do this.
Who does all the hard work and brings back?
I think this-
What's the current status of the property?
It's,
Usage?
the usage has been avoided. But it's,
Which no doubt needs to negotiation.
yes.
Do we have legal access to Second Street from that particular piece of property?
Steps?
Oh, yeah, the steps, yeah.
No, I'm talking about
Vehicular?
vehicular, yeah. In other words, we'd have to have the city change the, was a barrier up there, open it up.
So, any further discussion? Any question? Any further question?
No.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? It's unanimous. Now, we have executive session, brief executive session, to deal with some legal issues, some property value issues, some property acquisition issues. I'm not sure there's going to be anything coming out of the executive session in the form of a motion, but the board needs to be clear understanding of some of the issues that we're dealing with that need to be discussed. Motion's in order to move to executive session.
So,
Second.
All right, Mr. Shermer, Mr. Smith, no, Mr.
Yeah, you can feel
Stevens,
what you got in there.
Mr. Stevens. I got my S in there.
That's all right.
Okay.
You what?
My S
Be
in
careful when you say that.
Yeah. I'm on camera.
I'll say this.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? We are now in executive session. So resume a regular session.
Any motion?
Second.
Mr. Smith, all in favor of resuming regular session?
Aye.
Opposed? That's carried unanimously. We're back in regular session. Are we on now? Okay, now that we have resumed regular session, there will be a motion for entering into the actions. Motions in order to move the resolution which you have written.
Yeah, it's resolution 12/16/1406, to authorize the executive director to update court representation of the Iowa pension plan as the employer and administrator.
What was 1405?
1405,
Executive session.
that's counted.
Oh, okay.
Yep. Wait a minute, that's 04 is the executive session.
There's 05 coming out, and 06 is coming out.
Okay.
Okay, we need a
Second.
motion was made.
Motion was made.
Second.
You made, who sponsored more? Jerry? Okay, Mr. Brown, Mr. Smith.
Yes.
Okay.
Mr. Brown and Mr. Smith. More or less.
You can change your mind if you like.
We're looking for exact.
I confirm that motion.
Any discussion? Any question? All in favor of the resolution 12/16/1406?
Which is
12/14, 12/16.
12/16.
12/16/1406. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Can I hold off on the vote just a second? I just wanted to state that this motion is to update the board representation regarding the ILA,
Court representation.
court's representation,
Yes.
regarding the ILA's pension fund. Okay. No,
That would be our administrator.
I'll call a vote again. Okay, I'll make it unanimous.
Okay. Vote unanimous. Okay. Any other business before we go? Motion's in order to adjourn?
I'll make that motion.
Mr. Stephen and Mr. Second?
I'll second.
Mr. Scrivener.
Mr. Smith and Mr. Jones.
Yeah. All in favor of adjourning?
Aye.